Hello, beautiful people. We are going to do part 2 of my unboxing. I had 12 boxes of books that I was unpacking and sorting and putting away on shelving. So, if you would like to see all of my books and see them coming out of the boxes and being organized and packed away, just keep watching. Okay, more beautiful books that I had displayed at the other house. Let's see if there's anything that's broken in this box. Okay. Oh, so these little things came out of it was an Irish box. What was that called? It wasn't called the Irish box, but it was called something like that. These came from Ireland and the Shannonbridge Potteries of Ireland. And I love them and they sit with my books, but let's see. Yeah, it looks like that made it too. A lovely picture from my husband. It's like scroll work that he got at Hallmark. It says you and me. So, I'm going to guess that most of these I've read. Here's Emma. I've definitely read that. Exact copy even. Walt Whitman's poems. This is Robert Browning poems. So I have another copy of Robert Browning. The Rose Hotel, Memoir of Secret Loss and Love. I have not read that. That was in my TBR. Don Quixote. This is a secondary copy. So I got this particular copy in a Coffee and a Classic, but I already had the collector edition. Letters to the Wilkins Children from their Uncle Charles. So this is a story written by one of my ancestors, 1895. And a lot of this line of my family was actually fighting in Gettysburg and all those kind of things. So very interesting part of my family history. The Moonstone. Read this one. Really love it. Wilkie Collins is one of my very favorites. The Swamp Fox of the Revolution. I got this at a library sale meaning to actually read it, but I have not. I should maybe put that in my TBR stack. Between the World and Me. Beautiful, beautiful nonfiction memoir of a father to his son about what it means to be growing up in America as a black male. Helps those of us who did not do that. The Beautiful and the Damned and Other Stories of Scott Fitzgerald. This book was also, I think, Coffee and a Classic, and I discovered that I don't actually like him. I don't like The Great Gatsby. It's sacrilegious, I know, but I don't. And I didn't really care for his writing as a whole. The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Read that, loved that. Oh, my stack just fell over. The House at Pooh Corner. Read that, loved that. Midnight Summer's Dreams Told with Emojis. Hysterical. Was the Dollar. My Antonia. It was okay. I was glad I read it, but The Frozen Deep, another Wilkie Collins. Fantastic. Really good little story that was made into a play that he and Charles Dickens actually played out, and then Charles Dickens wrote, I believe it's A Tale of Two Cities. I'd have to Google search, but he used the character that he portrayed in his next novel. A Bible. Easy Algebra. Just bought it because I really like the copy of the book, and I do like algebra. Reading the Weather. So I just bought these at an antique bookstore because I could afford them and I thought they were pretty, along with this one. Here, Ward the Wake. And this one as well, Field Guide to Birds. Old books remind me of my grandmother. New Testament. Here's the actual book I read on my honeymoon, Anna Karenina. Don't recommend it necessarily as a honeymoon read, but I did really like it. The Wild Vine. I haven't read this one yet. This is a nonfiction story about a gentleman who has a vineyard. Here's another one, Library, Alaska. Haven't read it. Want to read it. As well as Texas, volumes 1 and 2. Jane Austen Writers Club, library sale book that I want to read. Grace, Gold, and Glory, Gabrielle Douglas memoir. Want to read that. Little whiteboard, a white whiteboard, and then I have a Color the World Beautiful plaque that I keep next to my adult coloring books and crayons. And here's a little Wind in the Willows plaque that came with that. Yeah, he's cute. And here's said adult coloring books. So I don't know, it just fell, but maybe it was a dead bug. Let's hope it's dead if it's dead. But anyway, Enchanted Forest, Secret Garden, Coloring a Cats, and Creative Cats. And I have colored a few pages in each of these, but probably not as many as I should. So that's it for that box. Let me find homes for them, and we will get another box. Maybe I'll put my hair up because I am sweating. Okay, another box, y'all. And this box says TBR on it. And I'm just like, I can't even believe that I have any more TBR. I don't know if I can turn the camera and maybe angle it up. That's my TBR stack, y'all. That's my TBR stack. I don't want to let the camera fall because I just like rotated it too far. Gotta show the important part, the books. What possible TBR books could I possibly still have? All right. Yeah, I recognize these. Oh gosh. Don't believe it. That was a Dollar Tree. Love Songs and Other Lies, Dollar Tree. I should make a Dollar Tree TBR. The Captives, Dollar Tree. Mercy House. I think that was one of the book subscription boxes. Romeo and What's Her Name, that was a Dollar Tree though. Nora Roberts, The Donovan Legacy, another Irish romance. Picture Me Gone. This was Dollar Tree. I can't remember if this is nonfiction or fiction. Fiction. Okay. Keep it in fiction. Here's the Vixens. Got that at the library. Okay, here's some more of my Thomas Hardy, The Mayor of Casterbridge. Okay, I haven't read this one, so this has to go in my TBR. Marco Polo. Haven't read that one, so it's TBR. Jude the Obscure. Looking forward to reading that one, seeing if I like it. Here's King Arthur. Obviously, I haven't read that. It's still shrink wrapped. The Ring and the Nebula. How do you say that? Richard Wagner. The Ring of the Nebulung. All right. Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman. I don't think I've read that. I really don't think I've read that. The Semillion. Haven't read this one actually. Read his other one several times, but never read that one. Aesop's Illustrated Fables. I think this is another copy of one that I have read, but I'll have to check. War and Peace. We're doing this as a book read on YouTube, I think in February, so I got to get crack-a-lackin' and get ready to read that. The Day She Disappeared, a novel. Basic Economics. It's a actual college textbook but it's Thomas Sowell, and I love this book. I love this writing. I just love it. Meditations from the Mat. Love this book. Talks about the different philosophy, if you will, of yoga. This is a really pretty book that my mother-in-law gave me. You like read about each thing and then it like rotates up, and when you shut the book, it's a bouquet all on top of the book. The Awakening and Other Stories. Haven't read this yet. Classic. Yeah, these are basically my classics that I haven't read. Etched Glass. I think this is in a trilogy or in a series, and that's not the first one, but again, it was $1. The Night Stages, Dollar Tree book, that looked good, novel. Another old copy of Anna Karenina that I just liked it, so I bought it even though I already have a copy and had already read it. And then this beautiful, beautiful book. It's an atlas of wine, and it's just tells about the regions in detail, what the flavors of those particular grapes, all the different background on the wine, which is a fun little reference book if you actually have a bottle of wine and can look up information about it. It's just a pretty coffee table book. All right, I'm like out of breath now. I'm getting very tired. So we're gonna make another TBR stack of classics, put these couple random ones away, and then be back with another box. Three more boxes shall be the counting. The counting shall be 3 more boxes. 4 is right out. No 4. Just 3 more boxes. And this one says pictures and penguin classics. So those are the books that I most love collecting. And here's my sweet Casey kitty that just passed away this year. So those are the tiles I will put on my wall next to my TBR books. Don't want those to get hurt. Let's see if anything else broke. This is my collectible shells that I got from various vacations. Looks like they all made it. I'll just set them over here. Not sure where they're gonna live. Okay. What else we got? This feels like a heavy picture frame. Sorry, I'm out of the frame. I tried to angle it down and maybe that wasn't best. So this is a picture of another kitty cat named Socks, who was very beloved and passed. Over with my TBR, kind of have like a little shrine to all pets past, if that makes, I don't know that it makes sense, but that's what I do. So pets past, this is my grandmother's dog, my favorite grandmother's dog, Misty, my childhood cat, Mr. Tippett, and Maddie that I had for 16 years, who was such a sweetheart. She would like sleep on my head, and she would actually come by name when I called her. So miss her very much. So here's my cross that I hang on my wall. That was made for me for a special retreat weekend. Here's a turkey feather that came from the Museum of Wounded Knee up in South Dakota, which is a very special place to me. I usually put that next to my Richard Bach because he has the Illusions of the Messiah. This is an original painting. It's not a reproduction, it's the original by Jasmine Starr. When I was in Portland, Oregon at the kind of marketplace, she was there and I fell in love with her pictures. Still got some dust on it. I'll need to dust that really good. And then I have no idea where I'm going to hang that one, but we'll find a place. And then this is cool. I don't know if I've shared this before, but this is the actual mailbox on my college campus in the student union. And when they redid the student union, they did brand new mailboxes. But this had been one of their mailboxes for, I don't know if it was 100 years, but I think so, a long time. So many, many people, of course, used this box. I used it the 4 years that I attended. And then you had a chance to make a donation to the college, and they made your mailbox into a bank. So I was so thrilled that my actual box was available. I still remember the combination, and I keep my foreign money from my travels. So it doesn't really have any great value in it, but it's fun to have those things. Oh, this broke, y'all. Drats. It's a tile with apples and chickadees, and it's got several cracks in it. But I think maybe because it hasn't broken its one velvet backing, I think maybe you can hang it and still use it. Okay, we're gonna set that over here on my dresser. Oh, and then this did not break, surprisingly, because I did not really have that bubble wrapped. Interesting. I don't know why I didn't bubble wrap it, but I did not. Awesome. I should have bubble wrapped those two things. And then here's all of my penguin cloth bounds. So, Pride and Prejudice, Treasure Island, Les Miserables, Christmas Carol, Far from the Madding Crowd. Yeah. I'm doing them by memory, and then I doubted myself. Sense and Sensibility, Gulliver's Travels, Tess of de Uberbill, not one of my favorites. Canterbury Tales, really, really fun, but I did get a little bored. It was a little bit long. Some of them were less fun than others. This is the Sonnets of Shakespeare. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, one of my very, very all-time favorites. Moby Dick. The Jungle Books. You can totally see where Disney got inspired. Persuasion, pretty good one. Picture of Dorian Gray. This is the actual one that I read that I fell in love with. Another favorite classic. The Iliad. Appreciate all the references and the history and all that, but totally a war book. And Count of Monte Cristo. So really, really good one. So love these, love these, love these. Going to see if I can get them into my keepsake cabinet and what I have to pull out to make room for all this. And then I think those are all my cloth bound, but we'll see. I've got 2 more boxes. Really don't know where I'm gonna put all these books, but I do have the shelf above my bed. I have 3 tubs that can go under my bed. So yeah, I'll figure it out. Okay. Hero of Ages, Brandon Sanderson. This is the Mistborn. Mistborn is definitely going on my recording shelf. Night Circus, loved it. This is a nonfiction historical on the writing of the Declaration. This is the Brief History of Time and the Universe in a Nutshell that are fantastic. 2100. Sonnets, this is like a yoga position Bible, and it's really, really helpful. More stuff to see if it's broken. Oh yes, this is my Etched Glass that I got at the Renaissance Fair. Isn't that pretty? It's really pretty when it glows. It has a burnt out tea light in it. But love that. Have to find a home for him. Alright, gotta set all the glass down over there so it does not break. Little iron mouse to go by my cat. This is the other iron mouse. Love my little iron mouse to sit in my books. Here's the Mistborn Trilogy. Love those. Book that my sister wrote. Street Cat Named Bob. That's definitely a favorite. Fall of Marigolds, one of my favorite fiction. The Yoga Bible, also another small one. That was good. And then I got a better one. This is the story of Steve Prefontaine, the runner. Run the Mile You're In. This is Ryan Hall. Fantastic. Yeah. This box obviously was on my favorites shelf, The Boys in the Boat. So a lot of these are going to go back on the shelf where I film. A Stone of Hope. Loved this nonfiction memoir about a boy from Haiti who becomes a lawyer. Losing My Voice to Find It. This is a Christian rock star who loses his voice, tells his life story. These are a yoga card. You know, pull them and make your own thing randomly. Cyrano de Bergerac. I did read this. It was a great classic. Shakespeare, The Complete Works. I actually have read that, as well as the entire Chronicles of Narnia. I'd like to reread it sometime, though. Ooh, I can tell the dust is stirring up again. Last of the Mohicans. I did not really care for that classic, but it's a pretty copy. And I have another copy of Moby Dick, so if somebody ever needs a copy of Moby Dick, I might be giving that away, because Moby Dick is not one of my favorites, but it's a very beautiful copy. One of my favorite fantasy series, The Illuminae, with one that I'm going to throw on the floor and knock the camera. Oh, I'm glad it didn't fall. Okay, Jimina and Obsidio. These are so amazing. These are kind of comic book style graphic stories, but they were so good. They just had like that whole Star Trek, time, space, continuum, dimensions, other planets and worlds. 2 and 2, one of my all-time favorite nonfictions. It was $1 at the Dollar Tree. I gave that one away and ordered myself a copy that was inexpensive from a library sale so that I could have a copy because I wanted to keep it. Daisy Jones and the Six, one of my very favorites, along with The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And I read a lot more Taylor Jenkins Reid, and these are definitely the two best. They just are. And then here's a set of cards that I just pulled out and got cattywampus, so that's that. So mostly those were favorites that were on the shelf that is currently over my filming chair. So I think most of these will just go right on back there. So let's do that, and I have one box left. Last box of books, and these are mostly books that were on the shelf right above my bed, which is already kind of full of books by me setting things up there that I think I wanted up there. So I am going to have to be discerning about which books I actually want where I can see them, and which books I'm going to put away in the Tupperware bins right under the bed. They'll slide right back out, so they'll be equally accessible. So yeah, it'll be fun to decide that. But Rose and Cranston Guildenstern Are Dead. Saw that play in London, but I'd already read it and studied it, and that's why I saw it. Fatherless Sons. This is another one that I reviewed, a book by the author, so I might put that one with my other books that I have reviewed by authors. Here's a Huck Finn, which I already have a copy of that, so I may give this one away. Around the World in 80 Days. Love this copy of that classic. Love that book, one of my favorites. Here's another book that I reviewed from an author that is also on YouTube. Walden. Loved it. So good. Wilkie Collins. Love Wilkie Collins. One of my very, very favorites. And this one was good. No name. Kind of a girl with amnesia kind of thing. Rebecca. This was really, really good. Like, even more, I'd heard it was good, but I thought it was even better than what I was expecting it to be. Ernest Hemingway, Farewell to Arms. This is the one Ernest Hemingway that I will say is my favorite. I do not love Hemingway, but that one will be my favorite. Age of Innocence. I struggled a little bit with that book, but I can appreciate why it's well loved. Hans Christian Andersen. So this is the one I read. I read that specific copy. So, and I've read Grimm. I read Hans Christian Andersen and Grimm, but I have not read the Aesop's Fables. That's the one I haven't read. Although I've read them, that's like The Crow and the Hare and all of that, I believe. But again, sometimes I get those mixed up. Here's my copy of Little Women that I kept. Love that copy. Vanity Fair. Didn't care for this. I actually DNF'd the classic, but I keep the book. This is Paradise Lost. I got a little bogged down reading Paradise Lost. It's mostly written kind of prose, and I think sometimes it would get over my head and I'd have to keep going back and rereading it, so it would lose me. Lord of the Flies, not my favorite. Definitely not my favorite. I reread it. You read it in school, and I reread it. Still not my favorite. Tarzan, enjoyed it more than I thought. It's pretty similar to movies and cartoons, but very different as well. Hide and Seek, another Wilkie Collins. Adore Wilkie Collins. That one was great. Anne of Green Gables, reread that one. My mom changed her name legally from A-N-N to A-N-N-E because of that book. This is Mutiny on the Bounty, which I liked it. It was okay. It's another one of those kind of graphic, lots of war and violence. This is Pantsuit Nation. I got this at the Dollar Tree. It's a bunch of essays and stories about people who basically were in support of Hillary Clinton and women in leadership back when she was running for president. And just really beautiful stories. So I kept it. Mayflower, this is the one I was saying that I had gotten, the other one that I haven't read. But that one is particularly good, and I might want to reread it someday. Here's The Great Gatsby. It's a little collector's edition. I know I'm never going to reread it, but I think it's a pretty copy. And I don't think I kept any more copies of it. The Shadow of the Wind. Here's the one that I need to stick with the other ones that I've read. So there's one on my TBR, I think. Or maybe I haven't bought the third one yet. I'll have to check. That might be another one that I could use my gift card for. Beartown. Loved it. Didn't like the sequel quite as much, but this was a really good book that I got in a book subscription box, 50 Inventions That Shaped the Modern Economy, and it was just really, really well written so that you could understand it, about time zones and batteries and light bulbs and things of that nature. Dracula, I liked it. It was interesting. I thought that I was gonna like it more than I even liked it, but it was good. The Land of Happy Tears. These art folks. Oops, let me pause. Love Does by Bob Goff. The Guardians. I think this was the story about talking about somebody who had passed and coming to terms with them. Yeah. Something Wicked This Way Comes. So good. I had seen the movie, but I had not read the book, and it was so good. So good. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Another copy of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, but they're so pretty. These copies are so pretty. 1984. Good book. Good book. I wish everybody could read it and just experience it, because we are living it. The Phantom of the Opera. Really good. Fahrenheit 451, so another Ray Bradbury. Fantastic. Are You Dead? Joseph Bruno. This is another author that I reviewed, so I should put that with my author reviews. To Kill a Mockingbird. Good classic. My book stack is falling over again. War of the Worlds. I got this messed up with the radio broadcast that Orson Welles did, but that's okay. They're similar in, flavor. The Journey to the Center of the Earth, Jules Verne. Love Jules Verne. This one and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea are definitely in my top classics. And then Thomas Hardy, The Woodlanders. Like this one. Don't like all of Thomas Hardy, but I like that one. And here's a little thing that came out of my Jungle Book. So I'll see if I can put that back in. So that's it. That's all of my books. I'm going to see where I put them, and then I'll take you on a tour and show you what I got. So the pile of boxes is gone. Yay! Here is the curio cabinet. Here is the bookshelf by the bed. The bookshelf over the bed. The TBR pile. Haven't read any of those books. And then these are the books that all live under the bed, but I still have easy access to. These are the books in the filming area. And then this is the piles of stuff that was not books, but still needs to be put away and unpacked. And I forgot the guest bedroom bookshelf. And I forgot in my final wrap up that I did get to count all the books, and there are 334, 87 of which I have not read, or more accurately are in my to be read stack. So that's helpful to know, and in the new year we will come up with a system of how those will get read. So there you have it, my unboxing, unpacking, putting things on the shelf. Gonna go get a drink and relax for a little bit and celebrate. Merry Christmas, happy seasons, happy New Year's. Peace, y'all.